Hello and welcome. Games with Neon. This one's called Suzerain or something. Suzerain. This game utilizes Unity's analytics system to collect anonymized gameplay data. The information gathered will aid us in enhancing game balance for a better game experience. Why? Make a game and come out with it. Like, yes, But there's this. If it's single player, I don't see him. Turn that down. Low, medium, high. Target FPS. Let's do 120. Top right on UI scaling. I don't know. Okay, apply. Keep the settings. Yes. Okay, so news. Okay, options. New game. New game name, Neon. Why not? Done. Okay. Starting date, 1954. Anton Rain has been elected the fourth president of Swordland amidst a deep recession. Demands for reform and external pressures. I don't know what that is. You must complete the privilege to disable torpor mode. I don't even know what that is. This mode disables manual saving and enables achievements. You can only turn it off after completing the story once. So you can't get any achievements until after you finish the story. And I don't know how long the story is, so let's get into it. Let's see what this game entails and has for us. Loading, apparently. Okay. You are my enslavement and my freedom. You are my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You are my country. Nazim Hikmet Ran. Kingdom of Swordland. You open your eyes to this world. You came from... Oh, I get to choose. Okay. A wealthy family, a middle income, and impoverished... I'm going to choose 2. It's a safe option. Medium. Your parents named you Anton. As the only child of a diligent civil servant, you lived quite an ordinary childhood. Life was not bad. You were lucky enough to attend a well-known public school, but frequent fights broke out as the Rain family home, which made you feel uneasy. The years passed. Okay. During a history class at school, the bell started ringing unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. The kingdom was no more. The Republic of Swordland was born. The only home you've ever known. You did not fully understand. You were happy that you had the day off. You were somewhat worried. I'm happy I had the day off. That's how I am in real life. Like, that's the only thing holidays are good for, in my opinion. After graduating, you passed the university exam with high marks. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies, and you chose... I feel like if you're going to rule over a whole nation, law would be a good one, but also economics. I think economics would probably be the best if you're going to rule a nation. Because I'm all about the people of the nation, and if you know how to deal with the economy and all that junk, then everyone's better off, because money is a very important aspect of everybody's lives. During the first year, you attended a lecture with David Whiskey? I don't know, I butchered that. He was a well-known diplomat from the foreign ministry and the son of the president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why a market economy is the better option for Swordland. He argued for a system where prices for goods and services are determined by the open market. I've got a question. Soldiers entered the campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Many were in shock as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest. Along with your best friend, Peter Victorn, you decided to protest, I guess. One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Luderin declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You joined the students to slowly march towards the large group of soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers charged. A student fell and was trampled as everybody started running away. I'm going to hold my ground. That's what President would do. The soldiers beat you relentlessly. It was a gloomy year. Oh my gosh. Okay. The majority of the students and teachers displayed their opposition. Thus, Lochvin became a target for the military regime. You didn't want to stay idle and decided to join human rights. The group heavily protested against the deteriorating human rights situation in Swordland. You contributed in through discussions on how to protect and expand freedoms. In one of the meetings, Peter Victern introduced you to a classmate of his. Monica! You were immediately attracted to her intelligence. She mentioned to you that she was a volunteer for the Swordish League of Women, an organization campaigning for women's rights. You told her you wholeheartedly supported her cause, weren't particularly interested in women's rights, but asked her to dinner nonetheless. What? Okay, she mentioned that you were a volunteer for... Okay, yeah. Support. Politically charged environment led you to join the Red Youth, the Socialists, the Nationalists, the organization. Or stay away from any... I don't know. I don't know politics very well. So I think nationalist means like you do everything for the nation first, and socialist is everything for the people first, which I'm going to pick the people first, because that's just my opinion. The radio delayed that the communist General Ricard surrounded Luderin and his troops, demanding their surrender. They refused and They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves. Swordland plunged into chaos. Ricard's sudden attack caused more instability in the country, but compared to the fascist Luderin, he was a real socialist. This convinced you to participate in a support march. You were chanting freedom, equality, and solidarity. You were marching under the protection of Ricard's soldiers. The students supporting Luderin's coup gathered a few hundred meters in front of you. Many nationalists were among them. You knew something was going to happen. I'm going to stay. There was a massive clash between the two sides. Soldiers began to beat the students. Tanks started rolling forward. In this chaotic moment, you saw a young girl about to get run over by a tank. I'm going to save her. But you couldn't reach her in time. You never forgot her face. Aww. I should have known by the two answers which one was going to be the better one. The clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica helped you cope, and love grew between the two of you. However, it was a difficult time for love. The chaos had to end. Is this, like, the whole game? Is that, like... Okay. I think that's, like, the whole game, so we'll continue on. I didn't know I was going to do a lot of talking, so... Here we go. The charismatic colonel, the Tarkan Soul, orchestrated a sudden attack on the capital where the Luderinist and Ricardist forces were battling each other. He defeated both, ending the war. A new constitution was written, and the military government began efforts to restore stability. Many people saw the colonel as a savior. He formed the United Swordland Party and ran as a presidential candidate in the first ever single-party elections. Yeah, I voted, I guess. I don't vote in real life. I don't get into politics, so I don't vote. USP won the election by a large majority. The military government announced a 4-year restoration period to transform to an entirely civilian government. After graduation, you kept seeing Monica. You were both interested in marrying and starting a family. However, a letter arrived from the military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. It was time for you to serve your national duty. A devastating civil war broke out in the neighboring country, Wayland. It quickly turned into a proxy war between regional world powers. The distinguished Major Iosif Lancia ordered you to lead your squad on a border patrol mission. It was a very cold winter night when you began marching out of the Gumran outpost. You could see your breath. After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was too low to confirm the source, so the squad crawled forward in formation and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border fence. You let them slip through. After the patrol, Major Lancia arrived with anger and immediately relieved you of your command, calling you a disappointment. One of your squad members had reported your actions after several months of scrubbing the floors as a punishment. Your duties ended and you went back to civilian life. Aww. You and Monica decided to share your lives together. After receiving the blessing of her parents, a ceremony was held in Hulsord. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high paying job within the governing United Sortland Party. It was much more difficult to start your career on a good foot because of the refugee incident, but you still managed. There's more down. Okay. Um, I don't know what to choose. Opportunity to change, I guess. You became the economics assistant to one of the more experienced members of Assembly. You worked long and hard, investigating hundreds of pages of economic reports late into the night. You were climbing up the ladder. Do 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 do. Jeez, all this talking. Ooh, okay. Tarkin Saul gave amnesty to the remaining factions of the Civil War and chose de-escalation and appeasement. The institutions and symbols of the former kingdom were slowly replaced. His government launched several new initiatives, such as a citizen-funded bills program to revitalize the economy, a special labor initiative to help rebuild and improve society, and a large dam project to solve the energy crisis. He said, damn. The first multi-party elections in the history of Swordland were held. Okay. The new 5-year plan and the subsequent financial work put you under a lot of pressure, but your significant contribution to the economic strategy triggered an invitation to meet President Tarkin Sol himself, who offered you a key position. You were to become the youngest member of Assembly. I am going to accept right away. As the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect you with the influential inner circle. You need allies, so you brought on Peter Vectorn as your right-hand man. MP is military police, I believe. The birth of your son, Frank, provided a brief moment of joy and relief. You sacrificed family time to improve your position, sacrificed work to found Along with Peter Vectorn, you did great things to cement your position in the party. Meanwhile, at home, Monica and Frank felt your absence. At the same time, President Saul increased his authority over the years. His growing ego started to cause strife within the USP. The cracks began to show. President Saul barely secured a majority in the election against the opposing leader. Over the next year, the Swordish people grew increasingly discontent with the corruption and the worsening quality of life. Economic growth was slowing down. Yep, that's what people don't like. That's what people don't like right there. Meanwhile, calls for a united Swordland Party Congress became louder as a leadership struggle started to brew. You watched from the sidelines. The contender for party leadership was Ewald Alfonso, a reformist and talented business magnate with a growing follower base within the party. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress, President Saul was meeting party members one by one. He approached you too. The President offered you the position of Minister of Economy, Commerce, and Energy in the next government if you backed him in the upcoming vote. I accept. The Congress was nothing short of impressive. The banners of the United Swordland Party were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists, and benefactors gathered for this turning point. The voting for the party leadership began. Ewald Alfonso. The efforts bore fruit as the contentious leadership vote was won by Ewald Alfonso. During the Congress, Tarkin Sol announced he would retire from politics at the end of his term, and appointed Alfonso as vice president. You knew the structure he had established was to stay. The country had become increasingly authoritarian. Authoritarian? Yeah. I'll just choose that one. A month later, your daughter was born. Monica named her Deanna. She motivated you during a tumultuous period in the party. As the VP and the leader of the USP, Edward Alfonso began dismantling the old organizations and structures established by the USP, such as the State Educators Corps and the Swordish State Corporation Bills. The general elections were approaching. The United Swordland Party was under new leadership. You helped, I guess. During the general elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with his secretary, who was replaced by the more popular figure, Franz Richter, but the damage had been done. The new economic policies and the extensive privatization program proposed by... There's a tongue twister. Privatization program proposed. Privatization program proposed. Gosh, okay. Done too much talking. I'd probably be better at it if I hadn't. Privatization program proposed. By Edward Alfonso secured an election victory for the United Swordsland Party. Over the following years, you did your best in order to make Swordsland a better place. Tried all as necessary to climb up the ladder. Dedicate yourself to the party. I'm going to climb up the ladder. Because the higher you're on the ladder, the more of a change you can make. Somewhat, I think. The presidency of Alfonso saw many bold reforms in government and law and advancements in liberal democratic values. He valued your support throughout. However, due to the infighting and disorganization... I'm going to end the video after this one here. So, let's see. However, due to infighting and disorganization, continual economic tensions and fast-track privatizations, it was followed by a severe economic recession. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but the unfair election system hampered opposition efforts to campaign. Worry about the economic recession. With Peter's help, your presence in the USP grew. The two of you worked long nights together. He flipped opponents on your side. You became the face of a new wing of the party. Step by step and with adequate planning, your wing took over the leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. The moment to make a move had come. You blamed him for the crisis on television? No, that's not a good, bribed and extorted inner circle. Advised Alfonso to step down. I'm going to advise him to step down because these two, if you blame him on television, yeah, everyone's going to hate Alfonso, but also it wasn't all his fault. So you're kind of doing it for, you're doing it for personal reasons, I believe there. Bribe him? No, that's not good. So I'm just going to advise him to step down. He listened to your advice. Alfonso conceded the leadership struggle, and the party eventually voted you in because of your indisputable influence. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election with Peter as your running mate. It was my turn. After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to preserve national values. Great nation of Swordsland, due to our incompetent leadership, enemies both internal and external are influencing our glorious nation. Today, more than ever, we need to unite under one flag and protect our values. Gretchen Swordsland. The broadcast ended. On Election Day, millions went out to cast their votes. It's time to face the truth. Okay, I guess this was a prologue. I got an achievement. It says Prologue, Rise to Power. Completed the prologue. So maybe I won't end the video there. Now let's get into the video. Hair. Balding, long, bald. Okay, no facial hair. There we go. Attire. Let's go with something I would wear. If that's all I have to choose from, I would definitely do that. Because I look like a penguin. Background. No purple. Okay, I'll go with... I have to go with something light colored. Even though I don't like turquoise, I'll go with the green. Accessories. I don't wear glasses. No. Smoke. I won't be able to change it later. So, there we go. Finish. Yes. Okay. As Anton reigned, you have made consequential promises to the people of Swordsland to gain their votes in the 1953 election campaign. Consider these commitments carefully. Economic direction. After the recent market reforms and the recession, the country finds itself stuck between two different economic systems with indecision and turbulence, causing the population to demand a direction. Select one of the following options. Promote planned economy. Promote market economy. Planned or market? I'm not a political person. I don't know what these mean. Next. The global rivalries between capitalist Arcadia on the west, the monarchy of the Rumburg to the north, and the communist United Cantona in the east are intensifying. Swordsland has the potential to align with others or lean towards neutrality. Remain neutral, I guess. In the last 5 years, Bludish, Wesek, and Angolian immigrants flocked to Swordsland due to relaxed immigration laws enacted by former President Ewald Alfonso. As a result, these tensions are causing requests for a political solution. I'm going to toughen the immigration laws. And see, that's what my view on immigration is. The people, like, from other countries, if they want to come over here, make it easier to do it legally. There you go. Like, it shouldn't be hard to move from someplace you don't want to be to a place you want to be. That's just my thoughts. I know it's more in-depth and difficult, but I'm the president here, so I make the decisions. Okay, term focus. Education, defense, law enforcement, health, education, defense. Wait. The average life expectancy has dropped significantly with issues such as maternity deaths and disease. I think health of the people is what... Yeah. Are you sure about your decisions? Yes. Okay. 2 weeks have passed since we won the election, and now I was about to be sworn in as the 4th president of Swordsland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name, Anton Rain. The die was cast, and there my story began. In the distance, the Maroon Palace stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what future awaited me there. I looked at my family, my son, and my daughter. Frank, Deanna were next to Monica, my wife. Her eyes were glimmering with pride. Okay. Then I turned towards the key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my government. I saw my previous rival and former president, Ewald Alfonso, who gave me a slight nod. Tarquin Sol was also invited, but as expected, he didn't leave his island to retreat. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orso Hawker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. The time for the oath has come. I'm ready. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of the President of Swordland, and to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend. Defend the people and Constitution of the Republic of Swordland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. It's an honor. My fellow swords. The crowd looked very eager to listen to me. Change and hope. You, the people, have chosen. Together we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. It is a time of hope. It is a time of change. If we stand together, we will prevail. The issues that plague us are kept if we stand together. In the past, there have been times of survival, times of conflict, and economic hardship too, but whenever we stood together, we prevailed. See, I'm not political, and all this stuff is like... It's not boring me. It's like it's holding my attention, but if this is all political stuff I don't want to do. I don't get into it, so... If you're into politics, I guess this would be a good game for you. From what I saw, I thought it was going to be like the board game Risk, but I guess it's not. So, I don't know where to end it, because it looks like there's icons over here. Like, I don't know. Eventually we won't be able to do something other than story time. Promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. The future awaits us. Swordlands above all in the world. First, we must rewrite our broken constitution. Well, how broken is it, though? Because if you become president and, like I'm imagining a president of the U.S., the country I live in, to be like, the Constitution's broken, we have to rewrite it the second he gets in office, that's not a good look. So, unless the Constitution is really broken. So it's like, stop the recession, eliminate poverty. That's what people care about, I guess. It's time for united and powerful Swordland once again. Change now, not in the next decade or years, today. Change now. Come on. Hundreds of thousands cheered. They were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden all at the same time. Wave. I'm tired. I'm tired of reading. Like I'm just. I want to play a game. Hello, Mr. President. Still felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. Hearing the new title made me smile even more. If you allow me to introduce myself, I'm Serge, your new driver. Nice to meet you. It's an honor. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside. I entered the car. We will be heading towards the palace. The motorcade began to move. On the way, Serge proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. As the minutes passed by, I found myself lost in thought again. Barely paying attention to what he was saying, he suddenly gestured out the window. Isn't that a beauty, the Maroon Palace? Oh, okay. Go back? No, back to Codex? Oh, what? I don't know what that, okay. Like, I'm just getting this overview, connections, legislative. Yeah, this is a very political thing. Let's go back here. Turn the conversation. Personal wealth, government budget, Republic of Swordland. Okay. Every time I look at it, remind me of my duty to this nation. Okay, open the car door. Can I do something now? Saving. Okay. Okay, now what? Now what? Okay. If you're here from the timestamp, I'm obviously going to put in, welcome! I'm Neon. This is Games with Neon, and I don't know what I'm doing right now, so I'm going to choose this one. Open city information. No, that's not. Okay, Holsford. Briefing on the current political situation. There's going to be a lot of... Yeah. Okay, I don't... Let's do this and go... I guess this is a scene that's active. Clickety click. So I'm just randomly choosing stuff. Saving? Okay. What is this? Read the report. The mayor of Arvory, Eric Nero, reports a lack of adequate infrastructure in Arvory, which seriously undermines the attractiveness of Arvory's investment climate. Foreign investors, particularly from Magnolia, are becoming hesitant to invest in the city. Meanwhile, according to data published by the National Business Council, around 19% of a company's total expenditures in Eggland is absorbed by logistics costs, while in peer regions this figure is below 10%. Okay, there's lots of issues, I get it. Now, wait, where do I want to go back to where I'm at. There we go. Hallsford, okay. What can I do? Overview. Here, law. Policies. Is there going to be... Oh, reform committee? Okay. 15 news. Don't exactly know what to do from here. I mean, there's a briefing. Guess I'll read the report. Okay, I've read reports. Kind of. Open city information. Situations. Codex, connections. Yeah, I'm lost at what to do. Nope. Nope. Okay, I am here, and I guess I just gotta go through these texts. This is like a very political thing. Well, I've gone farther than I've wanted to in this game, and I'm pretty sure it's all going to be just talking and making these decisions. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't want... Yeah, I mean... So pretty much that's the game. You go to these conversations and you talk and get into the politics and make your own decisions on a country and see what happens. So I'm gonna end it here. This isn't a game for me, but now you know if it's a game for you or not. Hope you enjoyed the video. I talked a lot in this one, so there you go. Story time is over. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.